What's up, everyone? Welcome to The Port, Sacred Heart show about the hottest movies, music, and video games out there today. I'm your host, Eddie Rivera, and today for guests, we have Sacred Heart celebrity Joe Durante and also Lyle Bennett. Thank you all for watching, and we're going to jump right into things. So let's talk about some movies. December is always a big month for movies. It never disappoints with the amount of blockbusters that come around Christmas and the holidays every year. For example, along with The Last Jedi, there's Jumanji, Pitch Perfect 3, and The Greatest Showman starring Hugh Jackman. Joe, along with The Last Jedi, which I know you're very passionate about, is there any other movies you want to check out this holiday season?
First off, I just would like to say I think Jumanji's going to be a major flop at the box office. I mean, Kevin Hart, Jack Black, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Karen, I don't even know what the hell her last name is. Why the hell are they remaking this dumb movie? I mean, I hated the original one. I think this one's going to be twice as worse. It looks like pure Michael Bay garbage. But I will tell you, the movies I am looking forward to be seeing, other than The Last Jedi, I do want to see The Greatest Showman starring Hugh Jackman and make sure to see how that movie's going to be about. But there's this one movie called The Shape of Water starring Sally Hawkins, and it's directed by Guillermo del Toro. And it's getting a lot of Oscar buzz. I'm anxious to see if this movie is worth the hype. It's about a woman in the 60s who falls in love with some fish monster creature, I don't even know what the hell it is, being contained by the US government. Another movie I'm really anxious to see this holiday season is a movie called Downsizing with Matt Damon, Christoph Waltz, and Kristen Wiig, and Jason Sudeikis. It's basically about a new world where you could basically shrink 5 inches, where you can only be 5 inches tall, and you're basically joining this new community, and you save a lot of money, you save the planet, and you're just basically saving yourself from your old life to your new perfect life. Another movie I'm anxious to see is a big movie about fake news, starring Tom Hanks, Meryl Streep, who I think's a bit overrated, and it's directed by the great Steven Spielberg. It's called The Post. It's basically about the White House lying to the American people about how many people were getting killed in Vietnam back in the early 70s, and Tom Hanks and Meryl Streep run the Washington Post together, and they're basically looking for the truth on why the White House is lying to the American people. Sounds very relevant to today's society. I'm anxious to see that movie as well this holiday season.
Now, Joe pretty much covered it all.
Thank
I
you
know
very
I'll
much.
be in the movies. Thank you for joining us, Joe, with all
Thank
the
you for
movie
having me.
insight. We look forward to seeing you next time.
Thank you.
Again, shout out to Joe for coming on for movies. Now for music, we have Lyle Bennett. The fall can sometimes be a slow point in music. However, we have a lot of great things going on in the music world right now. Metro Boomin has been busy with works on the new 21 Savage album and a new Big Sean single. Sam Smith has also released a new album that I'm sure will be popular on the charts. We're going to turn it over to our guest Lyle to see what he has to think about what's going on. Lyle, what are you listening to right now?
So what I'm listening to right now, I'm listening to a lot of new people and a lot of old people. So I'm still listening to Jay-Z, the
of course.
444 album.
Of course.
Great. I'm listening to 21 Savage, that Metro Boomin and Offset album. Great. I'm listening to the Future and Young Thug album. Really good. I just took a listen to Sam Smith's album. Really, really touches the heart. And then I just listened to a new single by YBN and Namir,
Okay.
Rubbing Off the Paint. If you haven't heard it, give it a listen.
Top of the charts worthy or?
Not yet. Still too. He's got to develop a name for himself, and then he'll get top of the chart.
A big factor in music today is making sure that you keep yourself interesting. Artists are constantly trying to put themselves at the top by making sure their name stays hot. Artists who have been a hot streak lately include Post Malone, Migos, and 21 Savage. Lyle, who would you say are the hottest artists out right now?
I'd have to go with what you just said. 21 Savage is really coming up. Post Malone is still in the picture. Future has been in the picture and will continue to stay in the picture. And someone that's like really coming up that's getting there is Lil Pump. Lil Pump he's a character, so staying relevant is what he does.
Definitely helps when you have a type of persona going to yourself. Like
Oh,
Lil Pump does.
absolutely.
Thank you, Lyle, for coming in. I now feel upbeat on the new tunes. Make sure you keep listening, especially to these artists. That was some good music. Finally, we talk about video games. Here again, we have Lyle. The new Call of Duty came out the other day, and I can honestly say that I haven't been outside since. Call of Duty World War II seems to be putting Call of Duty on the right path. Call of Duty hasn't been releasing the best of games as of late, but this one seems to be promising for the return of a great gaming franchise. Now, Lyle, what do you think about the new Call of Duty video game?
I think it's great. I mean, it returns back to its roots of that World War II. I think it's just a great game. It kind of plays off of how Battlefield 1 went to World War One and kind of got rid of all the technology in the games, like literally jetpacks and grenades that literally locked onto you. So it just went back to a simpler time where the game's just easier and a little bit more fun to play.
Now, as stated before, the last games weren't as good as they have been in the past. Do you feel like this version of the video game might return it to prominence, or it might take still a little while?
I think it'll return it back to prominence because, like I said, it's just a lot of it brings it back to a simpler time. So it's what are they going to do after this that's going to keep it running on this basically time and not have it where people are literally jumping and flying through the air.
So a lot of new games come with in-game purchases. How do you feel that gives an advantage, or is it still fair for a video game player? How do you feel about that change?
Well, honestly, I think it could be 50-50. It depends on who the player is, because if the player is that good, he or she doesn't need these purchases. But if they're struggling or whatever, they might need these purchases. Also, it depends on the timing. Like, people have lives to live, so if they don't have time, they gotta probably buy a couple things to either stay caught up.
Now, another popular new game is Assassin's Creed. How do you feel about the new version of Assassin's Creed?
I think that also went back to its roots. With new game mechanics and just different functions, it's newer, but it's old again. It took them, I think it was 2 years, so they took 2 years off from making a game to just focus on this one, and I think it really did them well because it's just a well-crafted game.
These are some great insights about the gaming world today. Thank you, Lau, for coming on. That's just about all the time we have today. Again, thank you to all the guests who joined us today. We're looking forward to seeing you guys next time.